Have you ever wondered what really happens when we die? Why is the fear of death so powerful that it shapes every action we take, from our relationships to our ambitions, our anxieties to our rituals? In Sanatana Dharma, death is not the end. It's not a punishment. It's not even an enemy. It is simply a doorway, a bridge between one body and the next journey of the eternal soul. Yet today, most of us live in fear of this doorway, simply because we have forgotten the science and wisdom our ancestors knew so well. The ancient Garuda Purana, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, and the yogic tradition give us not superstition. Welcome to Project Sanatana, where we decode the ancient wisdom of Bharat, its science, philosophy, and spiritual truths. Today in this video, let's explore the journey of a soul beyond the death and rebirth or moksha. Sanatana Dharma begins with one unshakable truth. You are not the body. You are the Atma, the individual soul, which is eternal, unchanging, untouched by birth and death. The Bhagavad Gita says, "Na jayate mriyate va kadachit, naya bhutva bhavita va na bhuya." The soul is never born, nor does it ever die. It has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. It is unborn, eternal, everlasting. The body is made of Pancha Mahabhutas, the earth, water, fire, air, and space. When death comes, these elements dissolve back into nature. But you, the Jivatma, simply changes clothes, like old garments discarded for new ones. If death is just a change of clothes for the eternal soul, why does it terrify us so deeply? The Katha Upanishad begins with this timeless question. Young Nachiketa asks Yama, the Lord of Death, to reveal what lies beyond, because humans fear what they do not understand. Asti iti chekat ved. If one knows that the self exists, then one truly knows. Yama replies that the soul is beyond birth and death, untouched by decay, untouched by time. The ignorance of this truth is what binds us to fear. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us to Naina chindanti shastrani naina dehati pavaka, na chana kledyantyapo na shoshati maruta. Weapons cannot cut the soul, fire cannot burn it, water cannot wet it, and wind cannot dry it. It is unassailable, indestructible, eternal. Yet we fear because we identify with the perishable body alone. Death is not sudden chaos. It is a step-by-step, precise unwinding of the life energies within us. Sanatana Dharma calls these energies the Pancha Vayu, the five vital winds. Prana Vayu, the inward breath that sustains life. Apana Vayu, the downward force that grounds and eliminates waste. Samana Vayu, the equalizing force that digests and assimilates food and energy. Udhana Vayu, the upward moving energy that gives speech, growth, and spiritual ascent. Vyana Vayu, the circulating force that moves nutrients, thoughts, and life force throughout the body. The Garuda Purana beautifully explains, Pranopane samanascha udane pran evcha, Vaiva panch saptate dehe dehemupashrita. Prana, apana, samana, udhana, and vyana. These five vital airs dwell in the body and sustain it. Let's see how in a sequence soul departs from the body. Step 1. When death nears, apana begins to withdraw. The feet and lower body grow cold as the grounding force detaches. Step 2. Samana leaves next. Digestion ceases. The fire in the belly dims. Step 3. Prana starts to recede. breath slows. Shallow inhalations and exhalations signal the life force detaching from the lungs. Step 4. Udhana withdraws. The power of speech fades. The eyes lose focus. Awareness leaves the throat and head. Step 5. Finally, Vyana disperses. Circulation stops. The remaining subtle energy fully releases. Each Vayu's exit is a doorway for the soul to separate from the Sthula Sharira, the physical form, freeing it to journey onwards with its subtle and causal bodies. When the final breath leaves, it is not the end, but a migration from one form to another. Sanatana Dharma explains that every being has not one, but three bodies. Sthula Sharira, the gross physical body, made of the five elements: earth, water, fire, air, space. Birth to death, it grows, ages, perishes. The visible shall be mistakenly called me or my body. Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, composed of the mind, intellect, ego, the five senses, and the vital airs, prana. This is the layer that carries our thoughts, memories, emotions. Karana Sharira, the causal body, the deepest layer, the seed of karma, vasanas, impressions, samskaras, past tendencies. This is what determines our next birth. When we die, the Sthula Sharira returns to the elements. That means it's buried or burnt to ashes, merges with Panchabhutas. The Sukshma and Karana accompany the Jivatma, individual soul, to its next destination. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad declares, Yathagne Kshudra Visfulingaye Vyucharantevam. Just as tiny sparks fly from a blazing fire, so do countless beings emerge from the imperishable. In death, the body burns or decays, but the spark flies onward. The Garuda Purana gives one of the clearest maps of what happens in the days following death. For 11 days, the soul, Pretatma, remains earthbound, hovering near its familiar places, the home, family, favorite possessions. It watches its own body being mourned, sometimes trying to communicate with loved ones. Eka Dashandina, Pret Atma Vichrati Griheshu. For 11 days, the soul moves near its former dwelling. It is aware but helpless, caught between worlds. In this time, the Shraddha and Pinddan rituals become the bridge. Our sages knew that offerings of rice, sesame, and sacred chants nourish and guide the subtle body. These acts break the bonds of attachment, helping the soul detach from physical desires. Why 11 days? Because the soul, carrying its subtle body, needs time to prepare for the astral pathways, the Pitri Loka or other lokas suited to its karma. The Garuda Purana says, by offering pindas, one satisfies the ancestors, bringing peace to the departed soul. Without these rites, the soul may linger, stuck in confusion, bound by unfulfilled desires. One of the most profound teachings is this: how you live decides how you die. How you die decides where you go. In yogic science and the Garuda Purana, it is described that the Udana Vayu carries the soul upward or downward, and the soul leaves through specific body parts. Murdhani va nasikaya va netrayor mukh topiva. The soul departs through the crown, nose, eyes, mouth, or lower orifices. Here is how it works. If prana leaves from Murdhanya, crown of the head, or Brahmarandhara, fontanel soul will get liberation, moksha. This is the highest, purest exit, sign of freedom from rebirth. But it is rare for perfected yogis, saints. If the soul departs from eyes or nose, it symbolizes elevated rebirth of virtuous, dharmic life in next birth. If it exits from the mouth, generally neutral, an average worldly soul attached to ordinary desires. If soul leaves from lower orifices, genitals or anus, it is the terrible way of soul's exit. Indicates a life bound by base instincts and bad karma, leading to a lower level births, in very suffering life, or the birth of animals to lead very bad karmic life in next birth. This is why, in traditional rites, the toes are tied, mouth and ears closed, tulsi leaves and sacred water placed to encourage the prana to exit upwards. The Garuda Purana explains that Chitragupta records the soul's deeds. But it is not a punishing courtroom, rather, it is Prakriti, Mother Nature, herself that balances the books. Swakarmana bhavatyatma sakshi Chitragupt krita. By one's own karma, the soul stands witness, and Chitragupt records the deeds. This means no angry judge. The cosmic law is self-regulating. Your own actions shape your exit and next beginning. Mother Nature, Prakriti, holds no grudges. It simply balances your actions with consequences, lovingly, lawfully. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad adds, Yatha karm yatha shruta. As is one's karma, so is one's rebirth. One's judgment is done for karmas. The soul rests in subtle realms, in realm of Yama or the realm of heaven based on their karma. Its next body designed by its vasanas after the 11-day wandering and the karmic balancing, the soul enters a cooling phase beyond space and time. There, the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, and causal body, Karana Sharira, reshape the next birth. All vasanas, or deep impressions, and samskaras, mental seeds, determine the parents you are born to, the body you receive, healthy, weak, male, female, or any form, the environment, wealth or poverty, peace or struggle, the unique lessons needed to balance old depths and grow closer to your true self. The Chandogya Upanishad says, Satev Saumya Tada Sampdyate. The subtle self merges into the subtle, and from that arises the next. Thus, life and death are not opposites. They are one endless wheel, samsara. But this wheel is not eternal. When the soul awakens fully, when ignorance is burnt by wisdom and karma is dissolved by grace, that is when the karma cycle breaks. This is the ultimate promise of Sanatana Dharma. No matter how tangled your karma, you are still Satchidananda, pure being, consciousness, bliss. So, what is the true secret of breaking the karma cycle? But here lies the greatest secret. Karma binds you, but grace can set you free. A yogi or bhakta does not cross the ocean of birth and death alone. He holds the hand of the Guru and Ishta Devta. Their Shakti pierces through lifetimes of karma. So even if the soul carries karma, the Guru's compassion, the Ishta Devta's grace, can lift it beyond the ordinary cycle, guiding it to higher lokas or moksha itself. When you live with dharma, compassion, ahimsa, and self-awareness, you loosen the chains of karma. The Bhagavad Gita says, Jatasya hi dhruva mrityur dhruvan jam mritasya cha tasmad pariharyarthe natva shochitum arhasi. For one who is born, death is certain, and for one who has died, birth is certain. Until you awaken fully, beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond all desires, and know yourself as one with Supreme Brahman, the cycle repeats. This is the timeless promise of Sanatana Dharma. You are not this body. You are the immortal soul, a spark of the infinite. Every thought, every action, every breath shapes your journey, here and beyond. Live in Dharma, live ahimsa, live with gratitude. When the final moment comes, you will walk calmly and rise higher. Do you believe in rebirth? How does this change your view of life and death? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might guide someone else too. This is the truth our ancestors preserved, not to frighten us, but to free us. If you found wisdom in these words, share it, discuss it, reflect on it. This is Project Sanatana, rediscovering the timeless science of the soul. Sanatana Dharma holds timeless wisdom that dissolves fear and awakens truth. If this knowledge touched you, don't keep it to yourself, share it with someone. Subscribe to Project Sanatana for more decoded wisdom from ancient Bharat. And remember, your soul is eternal. Har Har Mahadev.